Thought for the day. The art of problem solving is one of the keys to becoming an outstanding leader.
Welcome to 7 Minutes for Yourself. I'm Christina Aina, and I'm so glad you've joined me for what I believe will be 7 of the most enriching minutes of your day. Let's take this time to reconnect with ourselves and improve our well-being.
In today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself, we are diving into the importance of uncovering the root causes that lie beneath the surface of some of life's challenges. Have a listen.
I had a coaching session with Christoph as part of my online Fifth Dimensional Leadership course. He was concerned that the role he had taken with his current company over a year ago was not affording him the exposure and visibility to become a subject matter expert in medical technology. He had a clear path in mind for the role and how he could position himself as this expert for his own company and for his own personal benefit. Upon assuming the role, he found far more challenges with the team than he inherited, which required time that he had hoped to dedicate to his other professional pursuits. He was feeling overwhelmed and disappointed that this other plan had... So here are 5 solutions Christoph might have considered, presuming he could acknowledge the possibility of one or both of the 2 root causes to the problems that I just mentioned. First, reframe. How are you characterizing the situation? Is it really a problem? How might you reframe it to allow yourself to see it in a less daunting way, even impersonalize it? In the case of Christoph, he was looking at this whole situation as a derailment from what he had hoped to do. That cast a dark cloud on his daily activities and longer-term prospects for his career. Instead, he could have seen it as an unforeseen challenge that he could develop a strategy for and begin to implement in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Second, operationalize. Learn to take what you might have conceived of in a vacuum and make it operational, but only after you've assessed the variables and the unknowns, the people, the skill level, the availability of other resources, external undermining forces, those kinds of things. Christoph thought that he had sized up the situation during the recruitment process and knew exactly what he was walking into. Realistically, it's nearly impossible to know how things really are, in spite of the best intentions of even your prospective colleagues. Number 3, choose. Be deliberate about your choices. Some choices or decisions will be hasty with suboptimal information. Other decisions will be more calculated, but deciding not to decide is rarely the right choice. Christoph was showing signs of being a people pleaser as a new person, and he didn't seem to give critical feedback to some of the underperformers, nor was he imposing consequences on people who did not come to the office at least 2 days a week per company policy. Such leniency undermines a level of authority that leaders need to establish, especially new leaders. Not everyone will like you, but you're doing what was agreed upon at levels above you and should be honored. Your team might not like it, but they were notified of the policy, and they have to respect that you are imposing the policy fairly and consistently. If others or your peers are not honoring it, say something, as this leniency is undermining your and their authority and credibility. Number 4, prioritize. This is in and of itself an art form. You should be prioritizing multiple times a day, even if in your own mind. Things are constantly changing, and you need to always be reassessing your next move. It's a muscle to build. You can't get too locked into the list you created this morning or last week, much less the one you locked into 9 months ago, Christoph. Come back to that list tomorrow and reset based on prevailing conditions.
That concludes today's episode of 7 Minutes for Yourself. Please take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts. Today and every day with your kiddo is a gift. Enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in.